Tracy, what's going on?
Kim, I'm so excited. We're finally doing this. We've been talking about it for how long?
I know. And I know. I think I'm really wired on. Okay. Well, hey, this is not how we planned this at all, but
But then again, it kind of is, because really what we just plan on doing is talking about nothing and everything and just being ourselves.
Yeah.
And just having fun.
And here we are. I'm whacked out on caffeine and can't think straight. I just started getting the giggle fits and whatnot. By the way, I'm Kim Langling.
I'm Tracy Lowry. And we are the Sassy Sisters.
We are the Sassies. You have to say it like that. Sassy.
Sassy.
Yep, that's what we are, folks.
Yep.
And here we are at the Sassy Sisters Cafe. I have my dog mom coffee cup tonight. What do you have, Tracy?
I've got my Hail to the Victor in You mug.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. All right. Tell me what the Hail to the Victor in You is all about, because I don't know what that means.
Yeah, no, you don't. But nobody else does.
Nobody else does.
This is like my brand. I don't even, how did this start? I wrote a book, right? And it was Hail to the Victor in You. And then it was, well, let's start a podcast. Wait, I already have one. So I changed the name of my podcast to the Hail to the Victor and You podcast. And then I got this TV show, and what should I name it? Why don't we just call it the Hail to the Victor and You show? And so it has bled into like everything I do. So this comes in really handy because it just fits everything I do now. It's got
I like the strong arm.
Right? That's the handle.
Awesome.
It's an arm.
Yeah. You're showing your guns on your coffee cup.
Or they're not mine. Let me just tell you, this is not my arm. I wish. My hump would be going the other way.
Mine, I got for $1 at the Dollar General. Dog mom. I love
mugs though. And you're such a dog mom.
And I am a dog mom. Love my dog. Love my little guy Dexter. So that's the coffee cup I'm using tonight is my dog mom. And it's so big, it's almost like the size of a small soup bowl. So I almost have to hold it with 2 hands to drink from.
I have a couple like that, and those are my favorites. I'm just like you just have to like hold it, and you're just like,
it's very cozy.
Yeah.
Yes, they're cozy. They're cozy. And I have, like a lot of caffeine in my coffee. What are you drinking? Are you drinking coffee, by the way?
No, I started with Mountain Dew, and now it's just water.
Mountain Dew in your coffee cup. First off, Mountain Dew is crap.
Oh,
I know you're like,
oh. See, I don't like coffee.
Oh, you don't like coffee?
I don't. I drink hot chocolate. I did have hot chocolate.
Okay. All right.
I don't like coffee.
Wow. Mountain Dew is so sugary. It's so sweet.
It's heaven in a bottle or cup or whatever you're drinking out of. I love it. It's seriously, I'm addicted. There's no shame. When I was working on a really crazy floor as a nurse, like I was known for always having like these huge things of Mountain Dew, and I would go through like 3 of them in a 12-hour shift. And like I'd come walking in with my first one, and everyone's like, "Oh, there's Tracy's cup of Joe," and it's just big old thing of Mountain Dew.
Oh wow. Wow.
It's not that bad anymore, but it used to be a problem.
I used to drink Coke all the time, regular Coke. I mean, because I didn't start drinking coffee until my mid-30s because I didn't like it. I liked the smell of it, but I didn't like drinking it. And now I rarely drink Coke, and I drink coffee all the time, all day. I'm not one of those ones that just, oh, I had my cup in the morning. Oh, that's blasphemy. So 1 cup in the morning. I have 1 cup before 6 a.m. So, and that I have a Keurig, I can't really say that, I drink a pot a day. So I have to, Right. I'd have to look in my garbage can to see how many K-cups are in there. But you know what I started doing? They have these really cool little K-cup holder thingies, screen thingies that you just pour your coffee in, your coffee grounds in.
Oh.
And then you use that so you don't have to go buy K-cups all the time. It's much more economical. So I just buy a bag of ground up coffee, or sometimes I buy beans and grind them myself, and then use those little things for your Keurig. They fit right in your Keurig. So I can't even tell you, how many K-cups I go through a day anymore now either, because I just use that one.
Okay.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And you're sticking to it. All
In other words, I drink copious amounts of coffee throughout any given day.
Sounds like it. I used to drink a load of Mountain Dew. Now I'm down to holidays. I kind of hit it hard because between that and things at work, wow, I drink a lot of Mountain Dew. But on a normal time, I'm down to probably 2 cans a day.
Probably healthier for you.
Yeah.
I can't believe you're not diabetic.
I know.
No, seriously, that is a tremendous amount of sugar.
Yeah. Yes. And it's full blown. It's that diet crap. No. In fact, if I were to become diabetic, I would probably quit pop altogether because I hate diet.
Yeah, it leaves a funky taste on your tongue.
An aftertaste, and I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I was on a date, and this kid, I was in high school, but this kid thought he was doing like this really sweet thing, right? Where I think it was like 4th of July. We're at the park, and he was like, "Are you thirsty? I'm going to go get you a Mountain Dew." Well, he got me a diet instead, like total accident. And so me being me, I was like, "Oh no, it's great." And so I drank it like a champ. I drank it so he didn't feel bad. I didn't even tell him it was diet. But like afterwards, I was like, somebody give me something else to eat or drink because.
Okay, now did you go out with him again?
Absolutely. He was a great guy, fabulous kid.
Speaking of dates in high school, that's a nice segue into whatever this topic might be.
Yeah.
Here's a date that I had in high school. I went out with this guy one time. It was one and done.
Ooh.
We went
Did
out.
it go well?
We went out. I was introduced to him through a friend. So I didn't really know him. He was from a different town, and I'm from a very small town area. Mm-hmm. So to date someone from a different town was like, big deal back then. So we went out, and he said he was taking me to dinner. So I got kind of dressed up, and we drove into his town, which is like 25 minutes from me. And he took me to McDonald's, and I just thought, oh, I'm a little overdressed. And when we're done at McDonald's, he said, I need to make a stop. Do you mind if we stop at a friend's house real quick? I said, sure, because I thought we were going to the movies. It was dinner and a movie. So we're at McDonald's. And I'm dressed up. And I said, sure, let's stop by your friend's. So we pull up to his friend's house, and we go in, and there's just a female there. And I'm looking around, and that was his friend. And I said, hi, I'm Kim. And she said, hi, I'm such and such. He and I used to date. So he took me to his ex-girlfriend's house. And we never ended up going to the movie. We sat there, or they sat there on the couch, laughing and joking about all the people they know and all their inside jokes. And I sat in a chair, drinking a Coke, going, get me. If it wasn't 25 minutes away from where I lived, I would have walked home. And at one point I finally said, hey, I have a curfew and it's a half-hour drive. Can you please take me home now? And I had to say it just like that. And then I eventually was taken home, and he called me again the next day and said, hey, I had a really good time last night. And I said, yeah, it looked like you did. And he said, when would you like to do that? He said, when would you like to do that again? And I said, never. That's all I said. Never. Click. And that's when we had phones that were on the wall.
Right.
They were rotary dial.
Satisfying to hang up on someone.
And it was quite nice because when you slam it, it would go
Yes.
ting. It would make this ting noise. So
now it's like there's no satisfaction in
no, there's no
that.
satisfaction in going. "Ugh." There's no satisfaction.
God, the youngins out there don't know what the satisfaction of hanging up on someone was back in the day.
No, they
Because
don't.
this doesn't cut it.
No, it doesn't. And then sometimes you're like, I'm just going to throw my phone at the wall. And then you're like, wow, I can't because it's really expensive.
Right. Back in the day, we used to have $20 phones that if we threw it across the wall, we're at $20. Now it's like we're at $1,000 and
Right.
we can't do anything in our life anymore because we live and die by these things.
Yeah, that's actually the thing. Yeah, you're right. We're way too connected to it, I think. But there is a really cool thing that I think is really cool. I take a tremendous amount of pictures on my phone.
Yeah.
And
you take really good pictures.
Yes. I mean, I get amazing pictures. People are like, wow, what kind of camera did you use? And I'm like, my Samsung SE20.
That's what
I have a real camera. I have a real Canon, like a real nice camera.
Right.
And I don't think I've used it in probably over 2 years because I use my phone camera.
Yeah.
And the whole selfie thing. I mean, I don't take selfies. I don't sit around, doing the whole duck lip thing in the bathroom. Oh, the first time I ever saw those, I just wanted to like reach through the phone and just go. But that's just me. But I do take selfies for professional purposes, for like social media stuff that's professional,
Right.
because I'm a podcast host too. So I use those for my podcast. I too have a television show called The Right Stuff. So I use it for that, marketing type things. I don't do the whole, bathroom shot. I'm 16 and I need to stand like this. I don't. Those pictures crack me up. I'm like, you would never stand or even look like that. And do you walk down the sidewalk doing that? Is that how you want people to recognize you? Because then you would have to literally walk down the sidewalk like that all the time with your head cocked up. Think about it. Ugh, that just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And I may be offending a lot of people that do the duck lip thing, and I don't care.
Well, here's to go off of that whole thing. I'm sorry. I can't think of a subject that we could talk about that wouldn't offend a large amount of people at this time, because the world as a whole, I don't mean to put me in it, but I'm just going to say we, just for simplicity, we are way too easily offended over stupid.
Yes, I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
why can we not? I mean, comedians. What can comedians talk about now? Because everything's taboo, everything's offensive. Like, come on, people.
I know.
Come on.
I'm offended.
I don't want to
I'm
offend anybody ever, but
I'm offended by stuff almost every day. But I don't jump on social media and start screaming about how offended I am. I don't put personal stuff on social media, my opinions on anything on social media. That's not the place to air your dirty laundry.
No, I agree. Unless it comes to sports. I'm really bad at giving my opinion on sports.
I don't even do that. I don't even do that.
I do. And I don't care. I don't care about who I offend or who I make angry. I will spew my opinions on Ohio State and how much I hate them. And I'm a big Michigan fan.
I was going to say, you're a Michigan girl, aren't you?
I'm a Michigan girl, and we made it to the finals, the playoffs, not finals, but we got Big Ten championship this year, and it's so good to be able to say that again. So this year has been great. And my Tom Brady, everyone thinks that I am a Tom Brady fan because I fell on the bandwagon because I followed him from the Patriots to Tampa Bay. So it's, oh, you're a fair weather fan. No, I was a Brady fan before it was cool. because he used to play for Michigan. And can I just say, love the man, not so great at Michigan. He was okay. He was mediocre. He got us some good wins. I'm not gonna say he was bad. Obviously he wasn't, but he was okay.
He's not young anymore.
Oh my gosh, but he's better now. Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother subject, and that's just a whole nother subject.
Okay.
But like, I'm not a fair weather fan. Like, I true blue Brady fan before it was cool. That's all I have to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's right. Okay, back to pictures.
All right,
So,
yes.
I want to ask you a question. Now,
Okay.
when I did mention a couple seconds ago or a minute ago that I do take selfies for professional reasons, do you do that yourself for, like your professional marketing stuff for your television show and your podcast and all that? Do you take your own pictures?
I absolutely do. These fun little ring lights that we're probably both using right now, they have the fun little holders. And my phone, you can either say, what's the word? I think you can say shoot and it'll take a picture, or you can hold your palm up and it'll take a picture. So I'll get into like my pose. No, I don't do that.
Don't do that. You don't do that.
No. But you get in your pose and you just like hand up, and it gives you like a little timer. So you have like 2 seconds or whatever it is to get back into normal pose. And so like, you don't have this look to it. I mean, I'm not going to do a professional selfie. Right. Obviously I'm doing this, but yeah, I do it all the time.
Because I got this slick little thing. It's a selfie stick, but it's also a tripod. And you put your phone to it and you set your tripod wherever you want. And you have a little remote clicker on a little tiny cord. So you can go 3 or 4 feet away from it and click it.
Yeah.
And do it.
Perfect.
So, you do your whole, trying to look professional. So I have found, when I'm doing like I do the relaxed thing and, I don't do that, but just, something like that. When I'm trying to do my own selfies, I don't know about you, but for me, it seems like I take about 80 pictures and I would say 77 of the 80. When I smile, like one of my eyes is almost always closed, or I have like this really dumb look on my face, like I just farted, like, and I'm going, oh my gosh, do I look like this in real life? Like, I'm walking around like this and I look like I, farted all the time. So I sit there and I just like delete. And really, literally, I mean, it literally is like 80 pictures and I'll keep 3. Yep. Are you any better at taking selfies than I am?
No, unfortunately not. No. I'm very similar. Although I used to be a very, very skinny athletic person. Then I had some health issues kind of wiped me out, and I'm just finally getting back into it. And I had to take a lot of medication for the health issues, which didn't help the looks of the body. Right. So now I'm trying to work on that again. So now I don't necessarily do the duck face that we were talking about, but I definitely try to like find the right like angles. So like you can't see this.
That's what yes, you do have to do, because, okay, I'm in my 50s. I'm not going to tell you where, but I am in my 50s. And I have noticed since I turned 50, I got like this extra stuff that hangs out down here. And so when I do take pictures, I do tilt my head at certain angles so you can't see all that.
Exactly. And you can't take it like, here's like picture 101. Don't take it from down here. Like,
never. Because always up.
Yeah, always above eye level. Shoot down.
I have a friend of mine, he's a professional photographer, and he has always said, like when I would go and he would take pictures of me because he was practicing for something or working on a project, then I'd be like, sure, I'll hop in there and help you out. So he would have me, and I would be standing and leaning and tilting at the most uncomfortable
backward position.
But when you looked at the picture, it didn't look that way at all. And he said, Kim, you have to reach the point of discomfort, and then I know it's going to be a good shot. So he would always tell me, you've always got to have your chin up and your head tilted. It's always got to be tilted. And he'd always come over and just move it just like this much.
Yep.
And I'd be like, this is so awkward. But when you got the pictures back, they looked very natural.
Magic.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was cool. It was really, we were doing, we were doing a superhero thing. It was his idea. He found 12 women. I was one of them. And it was called the Superhero Series. And we shared our stories of overcoming something. And we dressed up as who we would be if we were a superhero.
Oh, I love it.
And so I was Ms. Captain America. That's who I came up with right away. I'm a veteran. I'm like,
perfect.
I'm a huge advocate for veterans. And so I dressed up as Ms. Captain America. And and I had the shield and everything. And he had all this smoky stuff going on behind me. And it was really cool.
Awesome.
And he goes, okay, I just want you to stand there with your legs, spread apart a little bit, just stand there, one hand on hip and your shield out.
Right.
And so he goes, get comfortable. He goes, okay, now I want you to spread your legs.
Get uncomfortable.
Way farther apart. And I'm going, this cannot look good. It was ridiculous. I felt so ridiculous standing with my legs splayed so far apart. But when we got the picture back, it didn't look like that at all.
I would love to see those pictures.
I have them. I'll send you some.
Okay,
yeah.
awesome.
There was 12 of us. And a couple that were going through cancer at that time.
Oh.
They have since passed. And they made up their own costumes of who they were as their own superhero. And it was amazing. It gets me teary-eyed because
it just gets me in the field.
Yeah, we have a private Facebook page, and I went in there the other night just to look and reread the stories and look at all the pictures because these women are just amazing. And then I looked through and realized that 2 of them have passed since we did that. It was probably close to 10 years ago. But yeah, what a cool thing. And he got all kinds of accolades from journalists and professional photographers all over the country for doing that project.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was
you
really
gotta
neat.
send.
It was really neat. So that was something I learned about pictures. Get to the point where you're uncomfortable and it's probably going to be a good shot. Oh, by the way,
I was noticing your minion.
I love minions. I have like 12 of them. And this one is a stressed one.
He looks a little stressed.
I hold him all the time. And I just love him because he's like, ooh, and that's how I feel almost every day sometimes if I let myself listen to the news or watch the news, I'll be like, so this is my face. So he's on my desk every day, my little minion guy. I have a whole bunch of them. I love them. All different sizes. Some of them talk. Some of them actually walk.
Wow.
It's ridiculous how many I have, actually.
It's like a collection that you've got going.
I blame a lot of the stuff that happens in the realm on the minions. I'll be like, those minions were up to no good again today. So I have to relegate them. I talk to them.
I love it.
It's me, the minions, and my dog Dexter. So.
Oh my goodness. And your dog, we gotta put a picture of your dog up because I absolutely love the 2 different color eyes.
Yeah.
Just plays me. And they're just piercing. Adorable. Adorable.
He's a goofball. He's a rescue. For me personally, my dogs have all been rescues.
Mm-hmm. I
adopt. So, and each dog that I've had has been absolutely amazing in their own perfect way. Dex I've had, well, gosh, next month I'll have had him for 3 years already. Yeah. He's a Belgian Malinois Mastiff mix with 2% Husky. And I think that's where that one blue eye comes from.
Yeah.
Because it is piercing. It is like ice blue.
It is.
Yeah, he's very interesting looking. He is. He's a very unique looking dog. His coloring, his eyes, everything. He fits right in the realm. So
there you go.
Do you have a dog?
I do have a dog. I have a dog. Her name is Heidi, and she is a mini Australian Shepherd. Aww. I believe she's a full bred. I'm not even sure. I got her. Okay, this is a funny story how I got her. So me and my son we had moved out to the family farm, and we've been talking about getting a dog for, a while. And then all of a sudden I just felt impressed. It's time. Like, it's time to look for a dog. And I was like, I don't even know, like, how do you even start? I've never had a dog. My parents were not dog people, so I never grew up with a dog. And so this was going to be a very new venture for me. I dated men with dogs, but they were never allowed inside. They were just outdoor dogs. So it's very different. They were just outside. So I was like, I don't even know how to go about this. So I said, Dad, I need a dog. And he was like, my non-techie dad was like, just say something on Facebook and see what comes back. And I was like, okay. So I did. I was like, hey, looking for a new dog, for the family. I didn't want a puppy. I knew that. I did not want a puppy. And I didn't want a high strung, very, high active, hyper dog. I did not want that because I have a young one. And literally, it probably wasn't 5 minutes later, I got a private message from a lady who lived just right down the road from where we were and said, actually, I have the perfect dog for you. And she sent a picture and I was like, I'll take it. Totally just from gut feeling. Hadn't even met her, saw her. She hadn't even sent a picture. I had no idea what I was getting. And literally, so she pulled up in the truck and the dog jumps out and I like got down, down to her level. And she just came running. She does not like strangers. Like, she won't do this with anyone else, but I knelt down and she just came running to me. And we have been inseparable ever since. Like, she is my buddy. She's an inside and outdoor dog. So she does a lot of both. But when she's inside, she is wherever I am. Like, she follows me to the bathroom. She follows me from one couch to the other. She always has to be where I am. So she's more of my dog than my son's dog, sadly, for him, but I secretly love it because she's just my little buddy.
Well, it sounds like, having never met the dog saw you and just went, oh my goodness, that's my human.
Yeah. And I fell in love with her instantly.
That's awesome.
Instantly. So it's yeah.
And Dexter chose me. I went to the Humane Society and I had just 6 months prior had said goodbye to my other dog that I had. His name was Digger, of 14 years. And I was absolutely devastated when I had to say goodbye to him. I mean, truly, that's not an exaggeration.
Right.
And it was 6 months. And I, finally I started getting this nudge on the way to work one day. It was very, very strong. And the words were, there's a dog out there who needs you. And I literally said out loud, no, absolutely not. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I was shredded this last time. I can't do it. There's a dog out there who needs you. That was stuck all day long in my head. So I got online, got on the Humane Society, my local Humane Society. They had one dog. And it was this weird looking dog. I'm like, well, that's kind of a strange looking dog. Black head. One brown eye, one blue eye, a fawn body, and white toes and a white patch. And I'm like, he's really different looking. Maybe I'll go see him. So I set up an appointment to stop and meet him on the way home from work. So I get there and I'm thinking, all right, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not even going to whisper. I'm just going to sit on the floor because they have this little room, this little meet and greet room that they put you and the dog in to see if you get along. And so I'm in this little room and they bring them in and they have them on a line. And I was literally sitting on the floor, leaning against the wall, didn't say anything, didn't even turn my head, just sat there. And I'm thinking, he has to choose me or else it's not going to work. And he was very, very skinny and skittish and ill, not healthy.
Right.
And my heart broke when I saw him. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, no, don't move, Kim. Don't move. So I sat there and she realized he wasn't going to be like freaking out on me. So she left him, took him off the line. He sniffed around me, but he would come up and then jump back. He was very skittish. He wouldn't touch me, wouldn't get super close. Then after about 10 minutes, start getting a little closer. And then he'd go from side to side, but still not touching me. I'm literally just sitting on the floor. My legs are falling asleep, leaning against the wall, not moving. And then eventually he came and sat beside me. He actually sat down, leaned his whole body against me because he's a bigger dog, leaned his whole body against me and put his chin on my shoulder. And I barely turned and looked down, and that one blue eye shining up at me. And I went, okay, I think you're coming home with me. And I whispered it to him, and he just kind of like snuggled in and just stayed there. And I'm like, he chose me. My heart just melted. So I brought him home. And it was a transition though. It took him a good 3 months to feel comfortable here. So I don't know what he went through prior, because they said he was probably about 2 years old and he was a stray, but he was very skittish. He was very ill. He never made a noise, not one single noise for 3 months. Not one noise, no barks, no whines, no whimpers, no nothing. And I was just very gentle with him, and I didn't try and go pet him. I waited for him to come to me all the time. He never once made a mess in the house. He was very smart to train, because I trained my dogs in German. He caught on very quickly, and I kept him on the line because he was a stray. So I'm like, all right, he's a runner, you know. Right. Kept him on the line for the first 3 weeks. Then after that, I just slowly started taking him off and continuing with the commands. And I've had him almost 3 years, and he's never on the line, and he listens and knows all the commands. And super smart dog. And he is very, very, very vocal now. He talks all the freaking time.
Now you can't shut him up, right?
No, you can't. When he wants attention or he wants something, he wants you to go to bed. It's bedtime. He's like, why are you still down here? Right. We're supposed to be up there. He's constant. I mean, you know, I want to go, well, he's up here, so I have to spell it. I want to go O-U-T, or he wants a T-R-E-A-T.
Yep.
He's like, constant. And I'll be like, would you please be quiet? And he'll turn his head away from me like he's ticked off at me. He just does this. Real slow motion. And I'm like, you little turd. He is like a toddler. It's like a toddler. He has temper tantrums and stuff. And he is a source of laughter and joy to me every single day. Every single day. Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it. Well, lady, this has been fun.
It has been fun. I think we should do it again.
I was going to say, we should do this more often. And maybe we can have a guest come on and be sassy with us too sometime. Have to pick the right kind of sassy though.
I was going to say, because we kind of have a rhythm. We've been working together on many different platforms and different things for almost a year.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
Quite a while.
We have a rhythm. We kind of just have a, yeah.
We got that white girl rhythm, which is bad. I'm a horrible dancer. I can't do any of that stuff.
I can dance.
I cannot.
I was a figure skater and a cheerleader and.
Okay. I was a cheerleader, but we didn't dance. I was a gymnast.
Oh.
I was the one doing the round off, back handsprings, back tucks, aerials, all of that stuff.
See, we didn't do those. We were non-tumbling. We were all dancing and cheers.
Oh, ours was all tumbling and building like huge
pyramids and lifts.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, we would do the lifts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what, yeah, we were all very, very athletic. I came from a very small school. And so all of us that were cheerleaders also were on the basketball team, the softball team, and the volleyball team.
Right.
You know, so we were all the guys, and we won a lot of championships in the various female sports. And the guys would say, you know, our high school, you know, where the men are men and the women are too. Because we were all jocks.
I love it.
I was a huge tomboy. Yes, huge tom. The sweatier, the dirtier, the better. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
I hear that.
Yeah.
I was the figure skater. And once I got to a certain age, I did it all for a while, but then I got to an age where I had to kind of focus on what I wanted to focus on. And I chose figure skating. I don't know why. I loved it. It was like an outlet for me, but I didn't have the time then to be on like a high school basketball team. So I would go and play street ball with my guy friends. And so I would walk up there and everyone in the area knew me as the figure skater. And so we would like hustle people. And it was so much fun to be the secret weapon. So much fun because everyone like would like totally ignore me for the first little bit. And then finally like, get the girl, get the girl, get the girl.
Yeah, get the girl.
That's when I was like, yeah.
I grew up in a neighborhood. It was all boys. My sister and I, we had to learn very quickly. You play tough and hard, just like the boys do, or you don't get up. You don't
play. Yeah.
And I think that's what also made us. My sister was very good at sports too. I think that's what made us better athletes when we reached like junior high and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we'd already had the crap beaten out of us since we were 8 years old playing with the neighborhood boys. So for 6 years, we had to hold our own against all the boys.
Right.
Get us up there on a girl team playing against other girls. You're like, no problem.
Yeah. I hear you.
I mean, you play wiffle ball with the neighborhood boys sometimes. They turned that into a full body contact sport.
Right. Yeah.
You learned her. My mom would get so mad because there were so many times that she had to take us to the emergency room to get stitches. You're like, those boys are too rough playing. And I'm like, no, it was my fault.
Right. Actually, you should see the other guy.
I started it. It was awesome.
I love it. I'm all about it.
Well, yeah, let's do this again, Tracy. This was fun.
This was so fun. I'm so glad we're finally doing this.
Yeah, we'll figure out. Maybe we can make it a regular thing. We'll figure out when we want to do it, and maybe we can invite some people and see where it goes. And coffee. I've always got time for coffee.
I always have time for Mountain Dew or hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate's good. I think you either like Mountain Dew or you don't.
Yeah.
I don't think, because it's not something, if someone said, hey, I've got water or Mountain Dew, I'd be like, I'll take water. I can't drink it. I don't know why.
See, I won't drink Coke.
Now, I like Coke Zero because it has no sugar, but I actually like it. I like Coke Zero.
So I went to a University of Michigan game, and because I've been drinking caffeinated Mountain Dew for so long, if I don't get it, I get headaches.
Yep.
Well, Pepsi is not in the big house. They only have
Coke products.
And so I was like, I need caffeine. It was a morning game. We didn't have time to go get anything anywhere else. I was like, let's get some in the stadium. Not a single Mountain Dew to be found. But they had Coke and they had cherry Coke.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can do cherry Coke. I can slam that down so I don't get a headache. Because you're already going to get a headache being in the big old stadium, and I am one of the biggest, loudest cheerers, and I know all the hand movements and all the right body movements, all the right songs, and so I go all out. And so I'm like, let's not make the headache bigger than it needs to be, right? So I chugged down this. I took one for the team so I wouldn't get a headache and had this Coke, right? Well, then I found out my sister got root beer, and most root beer does not have caffeine, but I don't remember is it mug that is caffeinated?
I don't know. I don't drink root beer.
I would rather do that than Coke, but I didn't think it was caffeinated, so I didn't pick it. Well, then I looked at my sister's bottle, and whatever it was, I don't remember what kind it was. It was the caffeinated kind. I was like, you mean I could have had root beer instead of this awful Coke? Like, ugh.
Root beer's kind of nice every once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's not something I would regularly. Like if I'm at a picnic or something and there's a root beer, I might take it just because I haven't had one in a year.
Right.
But I don't buy it for home.
No, I don't either.
And when my daughter was little, we did make root beer floats, and that was fun.
Right.
But I didn't just chug straight root beer.
Yeah. Like I said, like if it's the best of the options that are there, I'll do it. But it's not like if I go to a gas station where I have my choice of all sorts of, I won't choose root beer.
No, you've got 18 different kinds of Mountain Dew to choose from.
Right.
You know, like a rainbow of colors.
There is, but I'm kind of a purist. My favorite is still the original.
You're a purist.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. I like
Right. Yeah.
the regular
Why-
Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Why do you need pink or electric blue Mountain Dew? I never
Yeah,
quite
no.
understood that.
I don't like grape anything. So that new one that's all grapey, forget it. If I wanted cough syrup and wanted to feel sick, then I would get cough syrup. Don't give me grape.
Yeah.
There's a watermelon one out there.
Ugh.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. I mean, I like Code Red, the cherry. It's basically cherry Mountain Dew. That one's good, but I'd only choose it if I had to.
You
I'd
know
just give me
what?
the
We
regular
should
stuff.
we should be getting like sponsor spots for all of the names that we're dropping.
You know what we could do like reviews for different stuff.
Why not? Honest, we could give honest reviews
That's we could.
and then send them to the companies
That we choose that are good.
or not. Purposely
How would
choose a bad one.
They're not gonna send us any endorsements for saying this stuff sucks. Don't buy this.
Oh, you do. You have a point there. That's right. Oh yeah, that was brilliant. How I worded that. Thank you for correcting me. Oh, just tell them it sucks. You don't think you're not going to get divorced? You're not going to get divorced. Okay, weren't we saying goodbye 5 minutes ago?
I think we were starting. I thought we were only going to do a 15-minute show, and I don't even know how long we've been at it, but it's been fun.
I have no idea either. I'm thinking we've been going at about an hour. I don't know. It's fun. We'll figure it out as we're going. And if anybody is actually watching this, we'll figure it out as we're going.
Absolutely.
If you haven't already clicked off, like, oh my God, I'm not going to listen to these people for an hour.
For those of you who have stood with us through to the end of this crazy fun, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We've got more coming.
Maybe we split this in half and you're watching the second half of it. You're watching part 2 of 2.
We just did 2 episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know why? Because we're brilliant.
We're that good.
On that note, I'm gonna wish you a good evening.
You have a good evening too. This isn't even Mountain Dew anymore. It's just water. But cheers.
Yeah. Clink.
Clink.
Clink. All right. Hey, this was cool. I'm glad that we hung out at the Sassy Sistas Cafe for a while, and we definitely have to do it again sometime.
We had a few laughs. Hopefully you guys did too, because we did.
And if you didn't, we don't care.
Yeah. We laughed at us. So if you didn't laugh at us, it's fine. We laughed at us.
That's right. We laughed at ourselves. All right. We're saying goodbye now. Bye.